So the T20 World Cup squad has been officially announced with regards to the changes that have taken place after a couple of injuries obviously were named in the squad. There's been actually one particular injury that is the standard that was made, and South Africa needed to name a replacement. Now, we weren't told the replacement yet until this morning, and today we've got the information, so we're going to get straight into today's show. We also have some comments from Mark Boucher, what he had to say after the defeat. I think that's another thing we're going to discuss as well on the show. And I'm going to show you the different quotes that he had to say after this defeat so we can go look ahead to the World Cup because that's the preparation. That's what we're focusing on. The World Cup's around the corner. We're going to talk about the fixtures as well. I'll put that up on the screen for you. That's what the Daily Show is going to be about today. The World Cup, the aftermath of the ODI series, and also the squad. We're going to discuss that too. But before we get going, before we get started, please subscribe to this channel. Please click that notification bell if you're new, and so that you can get updated with everything that we're doing here on Cricket Fanatics Magazine. You also can download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine and also subscribe to it. It's 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. All back issues you have access to as well once you sign up. So please go ahead and do so. It's 100% free. You can also become a Patreon if you want to help us grow and promote South African cricket. The link is on the screen as well as in the description to find out how you can do that too. And go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular daily updates. The full article on Jansen is on the site. So go ahead and have a check what was said about that particular selection. But let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to discussing all of this with you guys. Let's get started. A very good evening. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. And today we're going to bring to you the latest update on the squad. Obviously, it was announced earlier this morning. We wrote it on the website to give you guys an indication of what has gone down. Marco Jansen has been added to the squad of 15. Now, this is the squad. As you can see, the batters on the left-hand side over here, Timba Bavuma as captain, Quinton de Kock, Riley Rousseau, David Miller, Aiden Markram, Hanny Klaassen, Tristan Stubbs, and Reza Hendricks. Then in the all-rounders department, we've got Wayne Parnell and Marco Jansen has been added into that. Then with regards to the seamers, we've got Lungi Ngidi, Anik Nokia, Kagiso Rapada. And then with the spinners, we've got Keshav Maharaj and Debre Shamsi. And in the travelling reserves section, we've got Bjorn Fortuin, Andile Pechlikwayo, and Lazard Williams has been added to the 18-man squad to complete this World Cup squad. So now we know that the full squad is like and what is available. So possibly the major talking point would be that the selection of course, Marco Jansen. Now, the original T20 squad was as seen over here. Marco was part of the travelling reserves, along with Andile and along with Bjorn. They've gone by replacing DWAINE Pretorius with a travelling reserve that was already part of the squad in Marco Jansen. And I'm just going to discuss that a little bit with you guys and what I think of that particular selection. When DWAINE Pretorius got injured, I thought that the right decision would have been to go with Marco Jansen, particularly because of the way he's been batting recently. He's a lot better with regards to his approach to the way he's batting. I'm not talking about necessarily him being the full product with regards to batting, but his approach to it is very attacking when it comes to the batting side of things. I do still believe that based on current domestic form and the way things have gone in recent times for Andile, I think Andile's batting has come a long way. And I do think that from a batting perspective, Andile might pip Marco in that position, I think. With regards to the bowling, I think Marco Jansen currently offers more pace, bounce, swing. aggression, a lot of things that he can add value with regards to the ball. Am I angry about this decision with Marco? Not at all. I like the fact that we've gone for someone young. I do feel a little bit sad for Andile Peklikwayo, who not so long ago was part of the T20 squad last time out, and he's not getting an opportunity in this World Cup again. And I do think that maybe he feels a certain way about it. We saw a tweet. Thank you, Lawrence, for messaging it, or chatting about it, or posting it in the live chat. That's what I meant. This was the tweet at the bottom. He just put a candle in a justice scale, basically. And some people are saying that that means praying for justice, fairness, and balance. And it was tweeted apparently around the same time as the Marco Jansen selection was announced. Now, I'm not going to read too much into this. It will be wrong of us to run with it and just assume that that's what he was referring to. We don't know what he was referring to. So I think just hold off on your attacks on him, because, I mean, we don't know what he meant by that. It could mean a various amount of things. So before you believe and just go and attack the guy, please just try and find out what it is first. And I don't know how you're going to find out. You're going to probably have to ask him directly. Um, and but ultimately, I don't think it's fair to just think what you think he meant and just go with it and run with it. I think, um, yeah, that it's like almost like reacting when someone's not even proven guilty yet, almost, in a way you could say. Not that he's guilty of anything ultimately. Um, but when I look at, Kani says he deleted that tweet. So yeah, obviously that doesn't necessarily show crazy. That doesn't necessarily doesn't look good when that happens. When you tweet something and you delete it, of course. But I don't know what he was aiming with it, and I don't know what he meant by it. And I guess we need to, like, obviously ask him what he meant by that. Uh, yeah, and Lawrence, you could say that if that wasn't the case, then he wouldn't have deleted it. But perhaps he deleted it because of the reaction people were having towards the tweet, and decided just to rather delete it, because he doesn't want all of that coming to his timeline. I've seen it recently as well. People have been tagging and delaying crazy posts all around Twitter, things that's not even necessarily his fault or his reason for being selected and everything, and they having a go and being very negative and rude about him, plus by tagging him as well in the post. It's crazy. So I just want to urge all you fans out there to not do that. If you want to talk smack about the player, I write his name out on Twitter, whatever the case may be, but don't tag the guy in. I mean, that's the step taking things a little bit too far, I feel. But yeah, that's regard to this particular lineup. We've got Lubabalo says weird selection, not like for like. Marco's not done anything in T20s, average 10 and strike 105. I know Evan Jones could have been better. But yeah, I understand that people want to say Evan Jones and Delano, but the reason they did Marco is because Marco was already part of the squad, part of the traveling squad, part of the ICC, the Proteus squad already before he was part of the traveling squad of the regional team. So it only made sense to pick between the likes of Marco or Andile. And I think in Australia, I think Marco can do serious damage with the ball in Australia if they're going to decide to play with two all-rounders, of course, which we don't know what we're going to do. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens over there. Khalid, why is there no batting reserve? What happens if the batsman gets injured? Now, okay, I understand you saying that. But I feel that they have 8 batters. I think it is, if I look back at the squad already that they've selected in the first 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 batters already in the squad. So I don't think they needed to add extra batters into the reserve side. They're a little bit light on the all-rounder side, injury, so Andile cover. They're a little bit light on the seamer side, so having a seamer makes sense. And they're a little bit light on the spinner side too, you could say. So Bjorn Fortuin makes sense. Not having a batter, I'm okay with the fact that we already have selected 8 batters in the starting squad. If there wasn't, if there was only 6 or 7, then maybe perhaps I would have thrown in a batter in the team as well. Okay, so that's that. Let me have a look at what you guys are saying over here a little bit more. Uh, I don't agree with players calling themselves entitled to be selected. Um, I don't think that's the case, but okay. Marco is poor selection here because of his batting. They should have gone for Evan Jones or Delano Potgieter. Yeah, I see that Lubabalo, but they weren't part of the regional squad. So I think that's the reason why they didn't select someone out of the squad that has never ever played for the Proteas before. Marco has at least played for the Proteas in formats, ODIs, Tests, T20s, played Mumbai Indians, he's played at Sunrisers Hyderabad as well. So he has T20, a hell of a lot of T20 experience domestically and internationally. And he was already part of the original 18, squad 18. So that's the reason why I think they went with Marco Jansen, not getting someone fresh out of the squad to bring in, so out of the Proteas sphere to bring them into the setup right now. No need for Fontaine. Why 3 spinners? Um, he's one of our best T20 spinners at the moment in the country, in my opinion. And if something happens to Keshaf, I think that Bjorn is the perfect replacement for him. So I don't mind having a backup spinner. Um, Seeing that South Africa's also have been favouring 2 spinners, I know they've been favouring 2 spinners. I don't know if they're going to favour 2 spinners in Australia conditions. I don't think that's a good idea. But if that's the case, then it's good to have some backup. George Linder was a big surprise to me that he wasn't also in and around the squad. His domestic stats compared to Bjorn's stats are almost identical, actually. It's just that Bjorn has won more trophies ultimately. That differentiates the two, and you could perhaps say that George Linder's batting is a little bit, a little bit better than Bjorn. But Bjorn wouldn't like me saying that. Bjorn's been working very hard on his batting, and his batting's improved a hell of a lot. Lawrence says if Marco is a poor selection, then I don't know. He is the closest replacement we have for DWAINE in terms of batting and smashing it from the get go. And in my opinion, he's the better bowler right now. Both our all rounders are poor with the bat in T20 cricket, says Lubabalo. Um, you know, Wayne Parnell's batting is not the type of batting that we think, I feel. I think we maybe expected a clue in the type of approach from someone like Wayne Parnell coming out and swinging from ball one. I think that Wayne is the type of person that gets his eye in and then he can really do damage. But unfortunately, he's batting really low for that. So it's something that he needs to add to his game. Marco is coming with that approach, and that's what I like about his batting approach. He's come out very confident and looking to punish people. I mean, that shot that he made, that he hit to go out. I mean, he was very unlucky. I think that could easily have been a 6 if he timed it a little bit better, which unfortunately didn't. So I like Marco's approach in the way he comes out to bat. But Antile's batting currently, we have to admit domestically what Andile has done with his batting over the last year has he has massively improved. So we can't be completely um, fully critical about Andile's batting performances. But I don't think with the ball he'll do. I don't know how he'll do in Australia, but I just think that the conditions, the pace, and the swing from Marco and the left arm attribute is going to make it very difficult to play someone like Marco. And if something happens to someone like Wayne Parnell, if he maybe can't play every single game, then bowling wise, you could to an extent say that there's some sort of like for like replacement over there in the bowling. Not exactly, because Wayne Parnell's a lot more skilled, he has a lot more variations, he's a lot more experienced, he's a lot more control, but at least he'll be able to play the role that someone like Parnell has played. Holly, did you see what Klusen said about how the World Cup qualifiers won't be easy for the Proteas? It won't be easy for the Proteas. We shouldn't underestimate that factor. It's not going to be as easy as we think it is. The fact that we are playing qualifiers shows that we're not good enough to play the best teams in ODI cricket. So what makes us think that it's going to be a walk in the park against some of the players that are on the fringes and that have more points than us as well in the league? So we're going to have to make sure that we find some way to do this. We need to find some way. Um, we need to find some way to get the perfect balance of squad and to get the perfect balance of players out in the middle to go play and perform. But also we need to think about bowling a core unit of ODI players that can be the future of South African cricket. I will continue to support the Boykies, but the last test was really disappointing. I was embarrassed, bro. The last performances, the last couple of performances in the ODI and the last test, bro, it was really hard to watch us. And I've seen us be destroyed and dominated by England twice now, guys. Like both series that I've covered now, we've been poor, both under Mark Boucher. So it's really heartbreaking to see us lose to England like we did. It really sucked. I personally would have selected George Linder as a backup spinner better than Bjorn, in my opinion. Says Lorenzo Bailey. But George Linder's injured currently, eh? So he's been injured for quite some time as well. So even if you wanted to pick George, you can't really, because he is injured at the moment. As you also said that South Africa needs to complete overall of ODI. Yes, I agree. That's been what I've been saying. I said in 2016 already that we should build towards the 2023 World Cup. Crazy, eh? I wrote a piece called Vision 2023. Where I spoke, I think it was actually 2018, 2017, 2018, sorry, that I wrote the piece, not 2016. And I wrote a piece where I said we need to build towards the next World Cup, 2023 World Cup, where we build a core unit of players. Now, obviously, the experienced guys will have a World Cup. We would have had a World Cup in between that, 2019 World Cup, where the players could have learned a lot from that experience if there was some youngsters in the squad mixed amongst those experienced players. By the time we get to 2023, those players would have been settled in the side, understand what the Proteas are about, understand what the senior players are about, added things to their games, learned about the games, traveled the world, and we would have been ready for the 2023 World Cup. Now we're still scrambling around, giving all the players opportunities because we're desperate to find ready-made products. So experience is obviously going to be a massive, massive advantage towards finding the finished products. So we put ourselves in the situation. We also had different coaches within that period. So there's no solidity. I hope that the next coaches that come in bring us a clear vision of how they're going to approach the next building phase of South African cricket, because that's where we are right now. It is the time right now, while we still have experienced world-class players within our squads, to build a team for the future. The way under 19s performed recently, Shukri Conrad doing an amazing job with that team. The way those boys look ready to take on senior cricket, we got a future ahead of us that we need to start planning and growing. There's enough players within the system that these players can be pigeonholed or penciled down as future players. I'm sure we can find 3 or 4 players in each position going forward to build around. Lawrence, you are lying. Marco is nothing like DWAINE Pretorius. Please, bruh. Marco is striking at 105 and DWAINE 140 plus. I don't think they are alike at all. Maybe with regards to the approach of the batting. So, for example, DWAINE comes out and he tries to hit from the first couple of overs. Marco is doing something similar. I think it's a bit harsh to judge him only after a couple of games in white ball cricket for South Africa. I think he still needs time to obviously show what he's capable of. I don't think they're like for like with regards to the approaches, and obviously with bowling, they're definitely not like for like. So I think this is more of a Wayne Parnell type of cover. I think they maybe not looking at playing 2 all-rounders in this tournament. I think maybe they're going to only play 1, which is not a good. I don't think that's maybe a good idea, in my opinion. If we play 2 spinners, I'm done with him. Says Kani. Let's get it straight, says Lorenzo. Marco is just a better all-round cricketer than Andile. End of discussion. Um, if you want to say so, that's your opinion. Lou, in terms of Marco, you're talking small sample size in terms of innings played. There is a small innings. Um, I think that the roof for Marco, based obviously because of the age, the roof of Marco is higher than Andile currently. Andile's been struggling. There's no doubt about that. And I really hope that because I still believe there's a player in Andile. I still think there's a player in there that can really turn into something brilliant. I mean, if other players like Dwayne Pretorius, etc., and Wayne Parnell can still make their debuts at a later stage and hone their skills and become better players, I'm sure Andile Require can do the same. So I don't want him to. I wouldn't tell him. I would tell him that he shouldn't give up and keep pushing and keep improving and not being obviously discouraged by not being selected in the main team. Do you think SA will go with two on Mark Payne Parnell Force? I've already answered that question. Sorry, bro. I've come to it late. My bad. Maybe we're trying Jansen as a pinch hitter if early wickets fall. You know, exactly how the small sample size. My argument was approach between him and DWAINE. Yeah, it's a bit of a small sample size to judge Marco completely. Um, I know that some people might not like the fact that young players get pushed into teams very early, um, but in certain cases, it depends on their maturity and mentality. Marco has a very, very mature mindset and a very mature temperament. So for a young player like him, uh, he can handle this. And every time I see him play, I feel that he's improving, constantly improving. So yeah, I mean, I back this decision. I'm always going to go with a younger person. I think that this decision, I don't have necessarily too many bad things to say about the decision. For me, it could have been Andile or Marco. They've gone with Marco, so I'm going to support Marco going into this. So let's get into the ODI comments from Mark Boucher. But before we get that, this is the fixture list of the World Cup. So we've got the warm-up matches. Monday, the 17th of October, is the first game. That's very, very soon, guys. It will start at 6 a.m. South African Standard Time, 2 p.m. in the local time in Australia. The New Zealand versus South Africa um, will take place after that. And I don't have the date for some weird ass reason. Um, it will be on Wednesday, the 19th of October, and it will start at 10 South African Standard Time. Wednesday, 19th October, 6 o'clock local time. And then we've got Wednesday, the 19th of October, again. No, sorry, that was New Zealand, sorry. And then Bangladesh, South Africa. I'm sorry, I messed that graphic up completely. Okay, then on Wednesday, the 19th of October, again at 10 o'clock. No, actually, sorry, at 10 o'clock. That will be Bangladesh versus South Africa, and then New Zealand versus South Africa is at 6 o'clock. So I don't know what I was doing there. New Zealand versus South Africa is at 6 o'clock. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mess up the graphic. And then Bangladesh versus South Africa at 10 o'clock. Then the group stages start. You're having a nightmare, guys. I'm sorry about that. Group stages start Monday, the 24th of October, 10 o'clock South African Standard Time. South Africa versus qualifier B1. Then Thursday, the 27th of October at 5 South African Standard Time, we play Bangladesh. Then Sunday, the 30th of October at 1 South African Standard Time, we play India. Then Thursday, the 3rd of November, 10 South African Standard Time, Pakistan versus South Africa. It's the full subcontinent we're getting in Australia. And then Sunday, 6th November, 10:30 local time, 2, 2 a.m. South African Standard Time. Oh no, that's going to be a crap one. South Africa versus qualifier A2. Okay. So now I think we can move on. I'm going to read some of the comments from Mark Boucher after the series. Okay, so bear with me, guys. It's quite long, but I think it's something that it's worthwhile talking about and worthwhile mentioning. So I'm going to start off with the first couple of comments. He says Boucher was leading the Proteas for the final time in a bilateral series, ODI series, before stepping down. Explains that there were many reasons for the results. Poor results, as we know, we won the first game, lost the last two. I think it took us some time to get used to conditions, he said. We didn't arrive early enough, but there were reasons for that as well. The first game was pretty difficult to be judged by, but I think we get better as we went on there. I think there were little moments in games, especially in the one day format, that we let ourselves down. In the last game, we just didn't rock up. We had a few soft dismissals up front, which put us under pressure. I think India bowled really well as well. They bowled with good aggression and intent, which led to our downfall. Overall, we understand though, and I said it before we left, we need to try and play the series and obviously try and win. We haven't done that, but I think we've taken some good lessons and we've had some good chats behind closed doors to speak about things we can get a lot better at. And I think that will stand us in good stead going forward now to Australia, where conditions are completely different. So I just think we're okay at the moment. Certainly, it's disappointing to lose, but we have a massive competition around the corner, and is that's what we're really gearing up to. I don't like that, to be honest, guys. That he said that we're okay at the moment. I don't like that. That comment was a bit piercing to me. Maybe I'm reading it out of context a little bit, but doesn't sound good. Um, we should be prepared and ready, not just okay. But let's read on. The Proteas leave for Australia on Thursday night. Upon arrival, they will set up base in Brisbane before the opening match of the ICC Men's World Cup against a yet to be determined qualifier group in two on October 24. Boucher felt that it had been a challenging few months for his team, and getting the guys to Australia in the right frame of mind was important. We're coming off a long tour to England, then on to India, and a couple of the guys were in Caribbean Premier League as well. We don't want to get into a situation where we're rocking up for every game and it sort of seems like a league game. So I think keeping the guys mentally and physically fresh is going to be vital for us, management and myself, to monitor. Then I think we'll get the best results for our guys being really up for the World Cup games. Also, we're going to Australia now where I think it will suit our fast bowlers a lot better. We've got some good pace, we've got some good bounce in our attack, so we need to keep the pressure there. The last one day game, there wasn't enough aggression. That surprised me was India's. What surprised me was India's bowling attack in the one days, bowled with far more aggression than ours. But we did chat about it, and the way that Anrich bowled in the last game is a positive sign for me, especially going into conditions where it can be quite effective. And then he moves on to say, South Africa's future to win the ODI series does mean that they now face an even tougher challenge in the ICC Cricket World Cup Super League, the qualifying tournament for the 2023 ICC ODI World Cup. They are presently 11th on the table with 59 points, which is 29 points behind West Indies, who occupy the 8th and final automatic play qualifying spot. They have 5 matches still to play next year, 2 against the Netherlands and 3 against England. And should they fail to make the top 8, the South Africans will have to play a qualifying tournament in Zimbabwe next June and July. Boucher added, it's not ideal. The reason we are in this situation is because we haven't always had continuity with our one-day team. That's true. I've said that actually. I said that yesterday, actually, I think. There's been various reasons for that. Players leaving to go to the IPL, COVID, that type of stuff has played its part. So there had been a bit of inconsistency with regards to our one-day team, and we're sort of seeing that now. But we know what is required, and the guys will know what is required come January against England and also playing against the Netherlands. We've got to win those games, and if we don't, we just have to accept the fact that we'll have to go to the qualifiers for the next World Cup. So we understand the situation we're in, and we'll just have to man up and face it when the time comes our way. So Boucher's clocked out of the ODI team, it seems to me. He's already clocked out from regards to the ODI side. That's going to be up to the new coach. Let's be honest, very arrogant comments from Mark. Easy for him to be this arrogant as he's off to him by Indians. He's just as culpable for us having to play possible qualifiers this year. Don't get the start. Go and get me started on Boucher. He must just leave you guys. Yeah, I mean, I know you guys were big fans of Boucher when he got appointed initially. So it's crazy to see how things have changed with regards to your thoughts on him um, over the last year or so, and how it's developed. Um, yeah, I mean, he's checked out of ODIs, it feels. It's the World Cup for him, and him winning the World Cup will do a tremendous amount of, it'll be a tremendous help for him as a T20 coach going forward, if that's where he wants to focus his game on. So let's see what happens with regards to the Proteas going forward. Um, it's mental that he said that we are not ready yet, and he wants to get us our mindsets ready for the World Cup. I'm pretty sure a lot of those players are already fixated on that and focused on that, and they'll be ready for when it comes. Khalid, who will replace Boucher now? Will CSA go for a local coach or international coach? I haven't heard anything on that front. The only thing that we broke was that there's going to be two coaches for the role. I know that from with regards to my shortlist locally, I would say Mangalisio Masekhle. So, um, sorry, I'm talking shit. Malibongwa Maketa, sorry, and I feel that Jeffrey Toyana should be in the mix there somewhere with regards to maybe the test arena from a local test perspective. I'm saying when it comes to the white ball arena, there's Robbie P. I think even Imran Khan has done excellently in the local scene. You've got the likes of someone like even I would even look at someone like Shukri Conrad in the future, because what he's done with the youngsters, he's been doing excellent. Oh, you caught that, Magalisa Masek. I'm sorry, Kani. I still agree with him being coach, just not happy about those comments. Gary Kirsten with the Dutch now. Lance Kloosner, someone throws in the mix with regards to a coach. It shows you guys, Baggy. I haven't spoken to Baggy in it forever, so he's on my mind for some reason. Just went and this came out. Lance Kloosner, so that some people also looking at him maybe perhaps as an option as well. We've tried that already before, didn't we? We've tried the Lance Kloosner route. It will be interesting to see how he does in the SA20. That will also determine going forward what's going to be happening with regards to that. But yeah, ultimately, I'm feeling okay, I guess, about the news. Not 100% happy about Mark Boucher's comments necessarily. I would have liked a little bit more detail around why we're actually failing in ODIs. I don't like the reasons given over there. I think could have gotten better answers, but it is what it is. Focus is now the World Cup. A lot of World Cup content is going to be coming your way, guys. So stay tuned to this channel. Click that notification bell for all future video. Uh, and yeah, do everything that you want to do. Guavo is another option. He's done well with the Lions as well. So we do have very good coaches within the setup. I mean, Eric Simons is someone that you can maybe also throw into the mix somewhere as well. Done some excellent work before. But internationally, I mean, an Australian would be great. I'm not really sure who. Justin Langer, I saw being mentioned in the comment section. I don't know if that will work with South Africa. But I think an Australian coach would be good, particularly in a white ball arena, I think. Actually, in both formats. But I think in white ball arena, it will really revolutionize our style of play and the way we want to go forward. With regards to Ashwell Prince, you're saying over there, I think Ashwell Prince will be an excellent batting coach. Even head coach or assistant coach. I think possibly could maybe I think maybe a little bit more experience with regards to the assistant coach, with regards to the head coach side of things, but not based on what happened with Mark Boucher, because I mean Mark Boucher's experience necessarily wasn't that great when he got the job. So what is fair at the end of the day? But if it was me, I would go with a little bit more experience with regards to things. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell for all future videos. I know I'm a bit tired, guys. Got a bit of a headache. It's been a hectic been a hectic week for me. Been struggling to sleep recently for some weird ass reason, but yeah, I've been I got a headache yesterday. I had a headache yesterday, and today the migraine's coming back again. So I just need to take a tablet and maybe go lie down and rest a bit. I don't know if it's too much screen time, guys. You must tell me, give me some advice. We want to hear all the doctors in the live chat. Throw in the comment section what you think I should need to do. I've been taking Nurofen, and that's been helping with my migraines for a very long time. I've been suffering from migraines all my life almost, but the Nurofen seems to be the one that helps me personally. But yeah, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link on the screen as well as in the description. And become a patron today to help us grow and promote South African cricket. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. I would like to do another show with you guys where we just talk about anything. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but I've been feeling like just chatting to you guys and getting to know you guys as subscribers better. What sort of music you're into, what sort of movies you're into, what series you're watching, if you like anime or not, what sort of other sports do you support, etc. So I'm going to try to do like a fan show with you guys soon. Now that there's a little bit of a break before the World Cup, I think it's the perfect time to do it, perhaps. So I would like to get to know all of you guys a little better and maybe do a stream where I just talk nonsense to you guys about anything. If you want to throw a couple of cricket questions in there as well, it would be great. But I think it would be nice for us as a community to get closer together as a family, because we are building a great family here, guys, in the community. And I want to thank all of you guys for the support over the last couple of years. It's 2 years or so. It's been excellent. Thank you for coming every single day and tuning in. It would be incredibly if I'm live on a show and I'm talking to nobody every day on a daily show. So thanks a lot for you guys showing up regularly every single day talking to me. We're going to talk about a whole lot of things very soon, but we're just going to talk rubbish. I'll let you guys know where that show is. Perhaps it could be possibly tomorrow if I'm not going to get any interviews coming this our way this week. But thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for all the support, everybody. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Have a great evening. Sleep well and peace out.